Damas y caballeros, pues nuestro principal patrocinador BPC pues va a dar lugar en este espacio. Evgenia Loginova será quien presida esta conferencia. Así es que de la manera más atenta, estimados jóvenes, al respetable, favor de ocupar sus lugares. Recuerden, la plática se dará en inglés, por si quieren pasar por sus auriculares, sus traductores simultáneos o inmediatos. Por favor, esta es la tercera llamada. Nuestro principal patrocinador, BPC Group, está aquí presente en CITEK 2018. Recuerden la promoción ahorita, durante este día, CITEK 2019 con 50% de descuento en caso de que así deseen hacer esta inversión para un año. Mi estimada Ale, ¿cómo ves?
Paco, pues sí, continuamos, los invitamos, les recordamos, me da mucho gusto que casi nadie necesite el traductor, pero para quienes sí lo necesiten, ahora es cuando, porque ya vamos a arrancar con esta plática de Marketplace BPC Group. ¿Estamos listos, Paco?
Estamos completamente listos. Evgenia Loginova, en su papel de directora comercial en BPC. Evgenia está haciendo crecer la estrategia de la empresa y el desarrollo empresarial. Desde que se unió a BPC en 2012, Evgenia Loginova se ha concentrado en acelerar la expansión internacional de la compañía y en buscar nuevas áreas de crecimiento donde la penetración de las soluciones de BPC facilite a las personas realizar sus pagos.
Así que le damos la más cordial bienvenida. Un aplauso, por favor. Welcome.
Gracias.
We're looking forward to listen to what you have to say.
Buenos días, señoras y señoras. Es un gran honor estar aquí en México. Muchas gracias al Centro Fox por la invitación. This I'm afraid as far as my Spanish goes. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me some of your time at this event. My name is Evgenia Loginova, and I'm representing BPC here. That's just a small intro video. We are what people call a tech company. Our core business is indeed technology, software. At the same time, we pride ourselves on being human, listening to the needs of end consumer and offer technological solutions to real-life issues. You see it here in the slides around me. Smart does IT is our slogan. We're curious, savvy people, very much like yourselves here, from all corners of the world. In fact, there are 800 of us who love to change lives with technology. Your world is always our starting point. We have been working for over 20 years in financial sector, bringing technology to make financial services available to the people all around the world. Our expertise primarily focuses on banking and payments, mobility and transport, and any digital solution that facilitates commerce. Our clients, and it's over 200 of them, are some of the world's largest banks, biggest transportation companies, sophisticated startups. They come from everywhere, anywhere from Panama to Papua New Guinea, from London to smaller rural areas of Cambodia. But it's enablement of financial inclusion that is one of our spearheads, and I will tell you why. Contrary to popular thinking, digital is not just the domain of young people living an urban lifestyle. It's not just about paying in Starbucks in Manhattan by tapping your smartphone, or walking out of doing a checkout in the shop in Seattle without even getting out a payment token. In many locations where we work, what's commonly known as emerging markets, although you and I know it's in fact progressive markets, which when it comes to innovation, be it Cambodia, Philippines, Kenya, Ecuador, Algeria, Russia, the route to people's prosperity has largely been identified by providing digital technological means to access the playing field. Access to information, healthcare, connectivity, credit, finance. We can increasingly explore the benefits digital can bring to improve life in the rural areas around the world. What first kicked off in terms of financial inclusion by giving individual consumer loans, microfinance, now it's the turn of small businesses to get access to working and starting capital, to then enable the progress of entire local and regional communities through digital ecosystems. This is new. That requires a lot of work and a lot of cooperation between stakeholders, particularly governments, but most of all, a lot of understanding of the situation on the ground. At BPC, we believe in tackling real-life issues with digital solution, which begins with understanding which issues prevent people and businesses from prosperity, from economic progression. Taking full part in the economy starts with farmers, people running small businesses, factories, and as long as they do not get access to working capital, to advice, to government grants, they cannot fully participate and, more importantly, contribute and prosper. Even more so, they often operate under the radar and do not have a track record that fits in the very complex and compliant way of working banks. Access is key to be part of. Also, we see that often the existing economic backbone in a country does not support people who are not on the inside, who do not have insurance, who do not have the right certificates, the right public record. Participation and the access I mentioned before are the key to the empowerment. If we then link those people, businesses, to possible suppliers, advisors, and clients, we create a network of cooperation. This means stepping up into the real economy and enjoying and bringing real progress. Ultimately, this will make not only the individuals, but also the regional and national economies more powerful and independent. Now, you might say that there are a lot of single great fintech startups and solutions out there to help rural businesses. The point I might stress is that a single monolithic solution, no matter how great it is, no matter by how great of minds it is developed in Silicon Valley, as long as it does not capture the whole system, the whole process, as long as it does not serve the local farmers in its entirety, it does not help. Farmers do not have time to scroll between non-integrated apps on their mobile devices. They need a holistic environment, much like a real-life market, where they can buy, sell, transact, and get advice. For let's not forget what we want to achieve. What is the goal of digital to rural? And it is empowering the backbone of the economy. And what is the backbone of the economy? It's the small businesses, commonly addressed by an umbrella term SME, small and medium-sized enterprises. In most countries, particularly in emerging markets, they form some of the biggest contributors to the economies. But at the same time, they are struggling to grow and develop. Why? Because have no access to finance. Financial inclusion has traditionally meant bringing banking services to the unbanked via agency banking, for instance, via microfinance organizations. by giving out consumer loans. But the real empowerment of people in an economy comes from their active participation in this economy, their ability to set up a small business, to have jobs, to see their businesses grow, to prosper. The problem with that lies with access to starting capital, or if a small business already exists and wants to expand, it's the access to the working capital. If the market of personal microloans is fairly developed by virtue of a lot of microfinance organizations present, the markets of SME lending is still largely uncovered. There have been a lot of attempts, both by fintech organizations and traditional banks with risk appetite to do so, to break into the space because it really presents a big uncaptured market for them. But there hasn't been much success. Main reason is lack of data, lack of information on those small businesses, what they're going to use the money for, how they're going to repay it. Opaque nature of their operations mean there are no official accounts, no IFRS audited accounts, records, and no paperwork these banks are used to be able to lend. There is no transparency. No transparency means no trust. No trust for banks, because they don't help those SMEs, those small businesses. They don't trust their ability to pay back, because they deem their business as non-transparent. So it's a losing game for all. Which is why we have been working on a technology, a digital solution to this SME issue that would connect the main players in a rural community into an ecosystem which would be transparent and therefore generate trust between players. Digitalization as a key enabler for improved efficiency. Of course, the problem of SMEs, prosperity and lending is much larger than in a domain of a technological company. But we believe that providing digital solution is already a very good starting point. So what is the solution? It is a digital ecosystem, a platform which would allow small businesses to get direct financing for their business needs, starting and working capital to service their business. How? It's an electronic platform that gives SMEs access and connects them directly with the suppliers of goods and services for their business. For the purchases done on the platform, whether it's a good or service, they get financing, working capital, which doesn't have to be physical cash, but can also take the shape of bank guarantees. Why does this work and what exactly is the know-how? Transparency and trust. How is it achieved? Because the businesses are enrolled on the platform, they all see each other, and the platform monitors their activity. Using our in-house developed built-in artificial intelligence and behavioral models, the platform assesses the activity of SMEs and gives out financing specifically for the activity on the platform. It does the scoring, and it gives out financing at a workable business rate. Because suddenly, due to transparency, there is data on SME that is usual environment lacking. And here is then an overview of what an agricultural ecosystem could look like in terms of the connections and stakeholders. This picture shows the connectivity that connects farmers with service providers and fintech players for working capital requirements, suppliers to purchase any goods and services on a more economic scale, auxiliary services such as machine rental, legal services, labor logistics, and transport, government for tax payments, grants, and subsidies. Clients get access through an e-commerce style platform or open marketplace to acquire the goods brought onto this platform by those SMEs. When building an ecosystem, there must be a lot of attention for a good, secure core, the technology, the foundation, but the success will depend in equal measures on how the end users, here the farmers, can work with the system. If you cannot easily move from bank to marketplace in one app, people won't use it. The first sign-on must be easy too. And of course, it's not just the question of technology. There must be a lot of education, a lot of work on the ground, a lot of sponsorship by local authorities, by governments interested in the prosperity of those SMEs. And this slide, also these are the steps in a typical agriculture ecosystem, from getting access to services such as banking, loans, and grants to increase in working capital. Farmers can purchase supplies such as fertilizers or seeds and can organize other services such as renting farming equipment or extra hands in the form of labor to grow and harvest their crops. At that point, they can sell their crop through the marketplace, repay the debts, pay taxes, and hopefully even save for profit. At that point, the full circle, which is represented here, starts again. Throughout the process, and this is important, data is gathered that builds a profile and a history of both the farmers, which will help them as they require more and deeper financial services or grants, but also on the market movements. An ecosystem is not just about efficiencies, but is also about the insight. Microfinance revolutionized and propelled financial inclusion to many, giving access to money to those who were outside of reach of banks. SME finance, provision of working capital, is, I truly believe, the next big thing. Started by Muhammad Yunus, microfinance has since developed into the big industry, often run by fintechs of Silicon Valley, Europe, out of Singapore. The criticism some of them were getting is that they were charging punitively high interest rates, which those firms apply, naturally, to be able to make their business model viable. One customer who pays out the loan compensates for the other 10 who defaulted. At BPC, the approach is different. Because of scoring models built into the platform that study the behavioral patterns of the participants off the platform, and again, I remind you, all the players of the ecosystem are enrolled into one platform, and the targeted nature of the loan is only given for the transactions done on the platform. The interest rate applied is much more realistic. So why hasn't it been done? SMEs in each industry and country are different needs, therefore can't apply one blanket approach, one algorithm that works for all. A lot of work needs to be done locally. The success of this initiative doesn't start in a software lab. It starts here. It starts on the ground by going and speaking to those businesses, to those farmers, understanding their production cycle, their business cycle, where the inefficiencies lie, and trying to solve them with technology. Technology here is a mean, it's not an end. And obviously, a lot of companies out there, they do not have the patience, they do not have the reach. We at BPC, we are present in over 80 countries globally. Majority of them are emerging markets. We understand it, and we're dedicated. We want to go and work with those people to find the most viable solution for them, so the solution becomes a necessity and not just a nice and trendy app. And again, small producers of shoes in Lyon have different stakeholders, suppliers, different business cycle to farmers of yellow corn. So although technology is the same, each solution will have to be unique. Everybody wins if this works. It's not a charity, it is business indeed. Financial inclusion, empowerment of SMEs, farming and building workable, productive rural ecosystems are about true business and true value. Participants in our digital platform, investors, lenders, suppliers and producers of goods and services to SMEs, get access to all of them in one place, increasing their reach. Getting financial gain and satisfaction by bringing value, by building the backbone of the economy. Productive farmers who are able to produce more and sell directly Small individual businesses, shops who can increase their revenue by not having working capital constraints, preventing them to buy stock, that reconnect with wider economy on an elevated playing field. This is the true gain and value for all. We can't do this alone. As I said, we're just a technology firm with maybe a lot of know-how, but we want to really bring this value. So there are a lot of people here who may be interested in this. Whoever you are, come and reach out to us the way I reached out to you. A little bit about our company. We care about what we do. Creating growth and wealth by connecting people and organizations, this is what we care about. Where other big tech companies focus in New York and London, we have opted to work in all corners of the world. My team from Mexico is here with me today. Please come by and talk to all of us. And in addition to being everywhere, we also go all the way to make sure we deliver what we promised. And more importantly, what works for you and your constituents. In the same vein that you all here dare to think differently today about solving very complex problems, we dare to take on those type of projects to work with you. So please come and reach out, come speak to us. Thanks again for the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Don't go.
I'm waiting.
You have to get your plant. And another round of applause.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, and you're always welcome here in Mexico and in Centro Fox.